I'm a 50-year-old man. My wife and I have a son and a daughter. My daughter married one of my son's best friends. We took him in when he was 15 and treated him like one of our own. He was kicked out of his father's home, and we took care of him like our own. My daughter fell in love with him, and they got married right out of high school. He went to college while she took care of their daughter. My daughter was resentful of the fact that she had to give up her dreams, and this created problems in their relationship. Her husband ended up having an affair and siring an illegitimate child. The mother was an addict and lost custody. After months of back and forth, my daughter decided to reconcile with her husband. We were not happy with her decision, but decided to not let our disappointment show when she brought him around. We treated him the same. 7 years go by, and last month my daughter decided that she cannot give her marriage a chance. I think we all knew that she was ashamed of her decision to reconcile. It came as a shock to my son-in-law because they were expecting another baby, which my daughter has decided to A. She also told us she is moving on and is already dating one of my friend's sons, a widower with a daughter my granddaughter's age, and they are good friends. She has known him since they were both kids, and I'm more than happy about her finding love. This Halloween, she brought her new boyfriend to the celebration, and we welcomed him wholeheartedly. And in the pictures, it was clear they were acting like a couple. My son-in-law, soon-to-be former son-in-law, showed up to my office and accused me of encouraging the breakup of his family when he was trying hard to save it. He was also disappointed that I didn't invite his 7-year-old daughter. His daughter went to her grandparents, so I don't understand the accusation. I understand that being alone on Halloween for the first time in 2 decades must have felt bad, but he is no longer my daughter's husband. My son also cut him out of his life. Am I the a-hole for supporting my daughter in her decision and maintaining boundaries with her ex? Not the a-hole. I really don't think it's appropriate for him to be approaching you about this. If there was an issue, he should be discussing it with your daughter. And really, it should be between him and your daughter where your granddaughter goes for Halloween. It sounds like everything you did was in agreement with your daughter, so I see no issue. Not the a-hole. You're supporting your daughter's decision to be happy with someone else. Guy cheats and regrets it. They try to fix it, and it doesn't work out. She moves on, and you did the right thing to say you get it and support her new boyfriend, especially if he makes her happy. Not the a-hole. Well, first of all, Halloween isn't a family holiday, and even if it was, he cheated on your daughter. He's no longer welcome at your house. He broke up his family, not you. Your daughter has moved on. My husband, male 42, and I, male 45, have been together for over 20 years. The relationship with his family was always a bit rocky, but I always got on really well with his younger brother Kev, male 37. Then Kev met Laura. She really didn't like me. I don't know why. I made as much effort as I could to be kind to her, but she was never anything other than rude and dismissive. Our already infrequent visits became pretty sparse. Before very long, Laura was pregnant. We were thrilled. We decided that we weren't going to try for children, so the prospect of a niece or nephew was exciting. Once Dee was born, we were allowed to visit occasionally. Another child appeared a couple of years later. Again, we were delighted, and were excited to go and see C in the hospital. That was the last time I'd see him for some time. The next time we visited my mother-in-law, I wasn't in the best shape. I have bipolar disorder. Most of the time, I can get on with my life untroubled, but there are periods when I can't. This was one of those periods. Mother-in-law was babysitting for Dee at the time. We had a decent visit. I played with Dee a lot, so did my husband. Then we went home. Later that night, my husband received a text from Laura. In it, she said that I'd put Dee's life in danger that day, and so if I was capable of that, she didn't feel I was welcome to be any part of either her or her children's lives. Since that day, now 8 years ago, neither my husband nor I have seen Laura, Kev, who hates me now, genuinely don't know why, or any of the kids. There's also a daughter E, whom we've never met. My crime, we eventually discovered, was being mentally unstable around her child. Anyway, last week, Charlie's mom told him that Kev and Laura are in a crap ton of debt and are being pursued by debt collectors from many angles with increasing levels of threat. It sounds like this is a pretty big problem. She asked Charlie if we'd bail them out. He wanted to talk to me about it. I said absolutely not, under any circumstances whatsoever. This woman has accused me of doing something to her child so egregious that she has banned both me and her actual brother-in-law from seeing his relatives for years. She created a family rift that never existed until she appeared on the scene. Incidentally, it appears that the majority of the debt is an insane number of credit cards in her name. I never do this, but I'm the higher earner in our household and always have been. We are not using my money to pay off this witch's debts. I'm sorry that it's going to create a difficult situation for a young family. However, they won't end up homeless. This is the UK. There's a pretty big state safety net. And if that failed, either her mother or mother-in-law both have spare rooms. It won't be ideal, but they'll figure something out. Reading this, I realize I sound like a total a-hole. But really, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. She literally doesn't want you around her family. Why would you even help her? She clearly wants nothing to do with you. Not the a-hole. It's ridiculous to even suggest that a sibling with no contact for 8 years should pay off debt for another sibling. What the duck? No way. Not the a-hole. She has made it pretty clear that she doesn't consider you family. Since you aren't family, you have no obligation to pay off the debt of strangers. As for a potential nuclear option, since you are the higher earner, tell your husband if he wants to help them, then it comes out of his salary, and only after his contributions to your household budget have been taken care of. But under no circumstances will any of your money ever go to her or to his retirement accounts if he chooses to help them. My husband has 3 nephews who visit infrequently with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. It'll be a long day of entertaining everyone and running around with little kids, and we'll have late lunch or early dinner. 2 visits ago, one of the kids had a meltdown because when I made chicken, I'd cut it into nuggets for him before serving him, but we didn't have ketchup or ranch dressing. I tried throwing together a Greek yogurt dip with seasonings similar to ranch, but it wasn't good enough. I suggested they stow away condiments from fast food for travel. I have friends who have their travel bottle of hot sauce. Sister-in-law said that I just should have had those things around to begin with. She made it into this big deal about how it's strange and unwelcoming that we don't have basic condiments. But I have a whole closet of designer clothes. My husband said that's because we don't really eat the condiments that are more geared towards kids. Maybe I would eat ketchup at a restaurant, but there's nothing we would normally eat that would require things like ketchup, ranch dressing, or mayo. We have things like soy sauce, mustard, hot sauce, salsa, and Greek yogurt. The latest time I made tacos, and I guess wires got crossed on what we meant. We meant, I don't know, tacos. Tortillas with a little bit of meat, some onions and cilantro, maybe a dash of hot sauce or salsa. They were upset. I'd even taken off the cilantro for theirs. Sister-in-law pulled me aside and asked if we had cheese and sour cream. I showed her the Greek yogurt as an option. She scowled and ripped it out of my hands and grabbed the cheese and was just pissy the whole rest of the day. A few days later, she texted me this long message asking me if I don't like her or her kids, because it didn't seem like I did. I spend so much time on how I look, but I can't do something basic like have a bottle of ketchup for my nephews or make normal tacos for everyone. What the duck are normal tacos then? She accused me of being narcissistic and conceited, saying that I have my priorities all wrong, because I can sit down and do my makeup and hair and spend thousands of dollars on my wardrobe, but again, can't have a simple bottle of ketchup. I didn't respond to her. I haven't shown my husband the message either. We invite them to our home and have a great time with them playing around. She kicks back and downs a few margaritas, and brother-in-law drinks our beer. But she throws a tantrum because we don't have ketchup? I'm baffled by this one. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, but, like, for the sake of your sanity, stop hosting them or buy a bottle of ketchup. Stuff lasts for ages in the fridge. You can just shove it in the back of the fridge and ignore it until they come over. Or, stop hosting them or cooking for them. Clearly neither of you are having a good time. Maybe get takeout or something next time. For the record, it sounds like she's jealous of your disposable income and is insecure that you do highbrow adult things, like use Greek yogurt and have authentic cheeseless tacos. Pretty sure on her end, the whole conflict is that she feels insecure about not being refined enough, and is spinning it to make it like this is your fault for being out of touch. You don't have to play into her unreasonable concerns, but it may be useful to know what her problem is in case you want to salvage the relationship. I mean, she's being an a-hole, but I assume you're not trying to cut her out of your life entirely, so yeah. I think she's an a-hole, but also I think part of being a good host is having things you know your guests will like. If they're just showing up, then no, don't go out of your way and buy ketchup. But if you're inviting them for meals, yeah, I think you should stock up on condiments. I wouldn't call you an a-hole, I just think it's good hosting skills. I actually have ketchup in my fridge that's never been used, aside from family coming over. Edit. Okay, it looks like I have my answer. It's not worth the hassle and fussiness. We're taking a break from them for a while, and we'll simply order a pizza should we have them over for day visits again. I'd rather not buy a bunch of condiments and learn how to Americanize every meal I make. I'll save the cooking for my husband. To be honest, I never looked at this as formally hosting them, and being hostess is not something I care much about. I can't imagine the energy it takes to care that much if someone can't eat a taco without their preferred condiment. Edit 2. A couple people asked what other things have happened. We didn't have milk or soda one time. There were too many vegetables and not enough potatoes or meat one time. I made sandwiches one time and didn't use mayo, so my sister-in-law just didn't eat because she didn't understand a sandwich without mayo. I showed her that we had rubbed the bread with tomato. She just sighed. I, 24 female, am more traditional. I love cooking, cleaning, and especially getting drinks for my husband Ian when he's home from work, and prefer to do that. It's just what I like doing. I love keeping busy, and it brings me a relaxing feeling at the end of the day when I know how much work I got done. My husband, 27 male, was a bit confused on why I never wanted his help with anything, and just preferred I did it myself. Laundry, cleaning, cooking, etc. But I just always answered, I like to keep busy while I listen to TV or music. I just like it. Now, on to the story. Ian invites sister-in-law over for dinner one night, and I'm happy because I decided to cook a large feast for us. Sister-in-law is here, and we all sit down and eat. It's going great, and we're having fun. But this is when the conflict happens. Ian was out of tea, so I got up, refilled it, continued eating. A little bit later, I refilled it once more. This time, sister-in-law looked very bothered and said, "You don't have to do that. He can get stuff himself." I was a bit taken aback on how blunt she put it. So to ease the tension, Ian laughed a bit and explained how I enjoy doing stuff like that and listed off what I normally do, which I think he shouldn't have done, but whatever. Sister-in-law looks almost horrified and said, "So you basically married a maid when you can do these things yourself?" And here I thought this was a serious relationship. That tipped me off. My response? "Sister-in-law, if you think you can disrespect me and my husband over nothing, you can get the duck out of my house, right now." Ian backs me up and eventually she leaves. I found out tonight that she took to social media saying I was in an emotional, belittling marriage with her estranged brother. Now my husband is furious, but I am starting to rethink my decision on kicking her out as most of the comments sided with sister-in-law, including most of Ian's family, except his cousin. Perhaps I could have just explained it in a better way? Am I the a-hole for kicking sister-in-law out? Everyone sucks here. She shouldn't have gone to social media, but her concern comes from an honest place. You really don't let him do any housework? You cook, clean, do laundry, and refill his drinks 100% of the time? That's kind of concerning. How old were you when you and your husband got together? Have you always catered to your significant others in such extensive ways? Did your parents have this dynamic? Why is it concerning? OP does what makes her happy. Women are not monolithic. Some of us love tradition. We love acting within gender roles. Some of us enjoy being housewives and catering to our husbands. I love being in the kitchen, and I love taking care of my man and boys. And they take care of me back. Why jump to grooming and disrespect, instead of just saying that it's not your cup of tea? What if someone told you that your relationship was screwed up because it doesn't fit their mold? Not the a-hole. While I do think it's weird you do all that to the point of refilling his drinks, it's also your call. If this was your idea and you're happy and he's happy, then you do you. I can understand why she was concerned, because that is typically the sign of a very controlling relationship. But then going to social media and blasting you aggressively is a-hole behavior and uncalled for. If she was really concerned you were being mistreated, that's not how you go about helping. I, Madison, 25 female, am getting married to my boyfriend Matt, 28 male, in 2 days. 2 or 3 days ago, my cousins, Elena, 30 female, husband had an accident and a serious injury. He is now at the hospital and is recovering slowly. Yesterday, my family and I had a small dinner to celebrate the wedding. We didn't expect Elena to come, but she did, which we had no problem about. But during the dinner, I noticed she was looking at me and Matt weirdly, as if she was angry. Suddenly, she stood up and said, "Matthew and Madison, you guys are absolutely perfect for each other, and I'm so happy you guys are getting married. But I would like for you to postpone the wedding. And all the arrangements that have been done is transformed to a get-well party for my husband." Matthew and I gave each other weird looks, but then I responded saying, "Elena, it is very sad for what happened to your husband, but that is not a reason for me to postpone my wedding, which I have spent the past year organizing. I am sorry, but I will not be canceling my wedding. You are free to cancel if you want." She snapped at me saying how big of an a-hole I was, and that I was selfish and inconsiderate of her husband. I told her that me and her husband have never had a proper conversation in their 3 years of marriage. The maximum was, "Hi, hello, how are you, how's work?" That's it. She stormed out of the house and we haven't talked since. So am I the a-hole in this situation? Not the a-hole. Sweet baby Jesus, some people. Postpone the thing, the big thing, the wedding, which is 2 days away. Hard pass. I think you would really struggle to find another couple that would accede to Elena's request. My congratulations on your impending nuptials. Enjoy your wedding, and Elena can throw her own damn get-well party. Not the a-hole. Going through a healing process of a loved one that had a terrible accident can be absolutely devastating, but that doesn't make it right to act all high and mighty, entitled, and have the audacity to ask someone to postpone their wedding.